Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Bundesliga show. Tonight, bringing to you our first watch along of the season, and we're kicking off with a nice watch along. So we've got the Super Cup going on between RB Leipzig and FC Bayern Munich. So the holders of the Pokal versus the champions. So bit of an early curtain raiser for us to get our teeth stuck into, Mark. Really looking forward to it. We've got about, 3 minutes before kickoff. We're both streaming it off our laptops, so hopefully we'll be in time with each other today. But we'll probably be a little bit behind everyone else. But yeah, looking forward to it. What are your expectations?
Yeah, really looking forward to the game today. Yeah, I think obviously Leipzig's team looks a little bit stronger to me, to be honest. Obviously, Bayern, no Goretzka in there. Obviously, the big talking point is the fact that Lewandowski's left. This is going to be the first Bayern game without the all-time great Robert Lewandowski. Obviously, Mane, his replacement. So I think that's one of the things that people are going to be looking out for today, isn't it? Like how he performs in place of the great man. We'll just have to see. Yeah, but I think it's going to be entertaining, this. I think a little bit surprised to see Sabitzer alongside Musiala as well in the midfield. So, yeah, it's going to be an entertaining game, that's for sure. I quite like the look of Leipzig's team a little bit more, though, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, before we run through the teams, and obviously soon the game's going to be kicking off, they're just doing the kind of opening proceedings at the moment on my screen. Shall we just quickly do a quick prediction? Obviously, if you're watching in the comments, welcome along everyone as well, by the way. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're going to enjoy a really good game with us this evening. Predictions then, chuck your predictions in the comments if you're watching along. It doesn't have to be anything competitive. I'll go for, I'm going 2-1 Bayern. Mark, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go 2-1 Leipzig, actually. I've just got a feeling that Leipzig are going to kick the season off in style. We don't always see Bayern play that well in these Super Cup games, although they have won the last two editions, both against Borussia Dortmund. But I think Leipzig are going to be a different proposition in this game, and obviously they want to add to their one and only serious title, which was obviously won in the DFB Pokal last year by beating Freiburg on penalties. So, they want obviously an ambitious club, and I think they might just take it a little bit more seriously tonight. Happy to see Lima in there as well for Leipzig, of course. I think he could be the difference. Potentially, who knows, this time in a week or two, we could see him line up for Bayern. You never know. So we'll just have to see what happens there. But that's obviously one of the big talking points of this game. But I'm going for a home win. Obviously, the game taking place in Leipzig as well today. So, yeah, I'm going to go for a home win. I just fancy RB to get the job done in this one.
Very good. Comment in from Jonas. He's going 3-1. He's gone 1-3, so presuming that you mean 3-1 to Bayern, Bayern being the away side. So players just about to go shake hands. Obviously, if whoever's watching at the moment, if you're new to the channel or you've just kind of stumbled across us, hope you're doing well, and it's nice to have you along. And please do make sure that you drop us a subscribe. That'd be brilliant, because we do plenty of watch-alongs, which we're doing more and more of this season. We're a dedicated Bundesliga show, so please do make sure you get yourself tuned in, because we bring you 2 shows a week, all on the Bundesliga, based in English. Kickoff's going to be going off very shortly. I think we've got another prediction in 2-1 Bayern from Bartos. So agreeing with you there, Mark, by the looks of it. Obviously, we've had one the other way as well. So what's going to be key to this game then, Mark? Where's the game going to be won and lost, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it could be the midfield, to be honest with you. I think, obviously, I don't think this is Bayern's strongest midfield, in truth. Obviously, Goretzka, I'm a big fan of Goretzka. He's missing. I think they will miss him in this game. Sabitzer, obviously, lining up against his former club, didn't play much at all last season. So it's going to be quite promising for him, the fact that he's starting this game. So, maybe we will see a little bit more of him this season, but who knows? But I think maybe Sabitzer versus Lima could be key. And obviously, I think it's kind of in some ways the battle between Nkunku and Mane, really, isn't it? Obviously, the stars of the show for both teams. I think obviously Nkunku, a massive coup for Leipzig to keep him at the club, in all honesty. And I think, I don't know if he's going to stay for another year or two, but they definitely got him for this season. That's a massive, massive boost for Leipzig. Obviously, Mane replacing Lewandowski, and I think it's going to be huge. Yeah, they're just having a silence at the moment for Uwe Seeler, obviously legend of German football, who unfortunately died during the week. I think he was 83, and he played in the famous winning team, one of the German World Cup winning teams. Obviously, there's been 4 of them overall, but yeah, there's been silences all over Germany this weekend for Uwe Seeler. So yeah, good to see that the two clubs are respecting him. And yeah, kickoff will be underway very, very shortly.
Yeah, Jonas kind of coming in with a comment there about Sabitzer there, Mark, how he is the best player on the pitch against City, surprisingly so, apparently. But he's got, an abundance of talent, so it'd be great to see him thrive in a Bayern shirt for the player, obviously, from his point of view. But yeah, obviously, we're looking forward to this game getting going, and hopefully it's going to be full of goals, because the Super Cup's got a pretty decent history of bringing us, lots of goals. I think there's only been a few that have been goalless or 1-1s or something like that. So hopefully we'll get kind of like a free reign of players going for it. And just as I'm chatting, we are indeed underway. So apologies if my stream's still behind anyone else's.
But I think we're at exactly the same time, which is great, actually.
Okay, well that makes it a lot better, so we can celebrate the goals together. Bayern have got the ball here, and they're just playing it around the back with Upamecano, and they're trying to go and find Gnabry early on. It'll just be so interesting to see how they play this without Lewandowski. It just feels alien to me not seeing him in a Bayern shirt. I don't know about you, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's a massive piece of business. To be honest, I was surprised to see him join Barcelona, because I guess one of the big talking points is like all we hear in the media in both Germany and England is that, Barcelona are in millions of debt and stuff like this, but, they just signed Koundé as well today, haven't they? So it just seems like there's no end of money, despite the fact there's supposedly like 300 million in debt or something like that. So, but obviously he's gone to play.
Yeah.
Right past is new, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. But as for Bayern, Mane is something of a coup. I also didn't expect that he'd leave Liverpool, because, Liverpool, one of the top teams in the Premier League, he scores goals for fun. He's a guaranteed starter for them. And, I was a little bit surprised, but also in some ways happy to see him swap the Premier League for the Bundesliga as well.
Yeah, exactly. Not much to talk about too early on. Bayern just kind of familiarising themselves with the ball, still kind of knocking it around the back. They've tried a couple of times to thread the ball into Gnabry via a few diags. Really great to see Alfonso Davies back and starting the season, Mark, because he was obviously a huge miss for Bayern from that left back, and he just brings them so much, doesn't he?
Yeah, obviously had a torrid season last year with injury, didn't he? But obviously ahead of Canada's World Cup campaign, which will start in November, it's a big few months for him. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not going to be a guaranteed starter, because to be honest, I think he'd be a starter even if he didn't play a single game this season. But, he wants to get himself into good form in order to lead that Canada side into the World Cup. Obviously for Bayern as well, they need him on the pitch. It's very, very important. Leipzig just trying to go long there to Nkunku, but obviously the ball just went out of play. I think it was Halstenberg Lima actually trying to thread the ball through, but it didn't quite work out. Bayern Munich with most of the possession early on, but not really created anything in the first almost 3 minutes on the clock now. Just a free kick in the middle of the park there after a foul by Lima. So, yeah, a bit of a physical start. I would say a couple of nasty kind of challenges going in, but I would say probably Bayern will be slightly the happier in the first few minutes. I would imagine they will dominate possession today. Mane trying to get himself in on the action, although I don't think he's had his first touch in a Bayern shirt yet, with about 3 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock currently.
Yeah, Bayern's trying to build up a bit of possession, aren't they? By the looks of it, RB quite happy in their formation as it is. Lots of big hitters on the bench as well for both sides. Quite a lot of the new signings defensively for Bayern are on the bench. So no De Ligt, no Mazraoui, Gravenberch is on the. He's obviously a midfielder. He's on the bench as well. So looking forward to seeing all those boys when they come on. Leipzig playing out from the back under pressure, and they succumb to giving away throw-in inside their half. So no kind of clear way as to, well, there's quite obvious the way that the game is set out right now. Bayern with loads of possession, Leipzig just in their set formation. Obviously, it's down as a 3-3-2-2. Obviously, Hülkenberg comes in for Gvardiol, who's obviously missing. Do you think they'll miss him today, Mark? Kind of was a big part of RB's defence last season, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Although last time we did a live stream at Leipzig, he had a nightmare, I remember. So maybe it's because he realised we were doing a live stream that he missed this game today. I don't know, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Quite possibly called in sick, didn't he? Yeah.
But yeah, I think at this stage of the season, you never really know whether clubs are telling the truth. I think obviously Tedesco said that it was an injury, but I know that he's been linked with a lot of Premier League clubs as well. I think Tottenham have shown a lot of, and also Newcastle have shown a lot of heavy interest in Josko Gvardiol. And, you never quite know at this stage of the season, do you? Whether we're kind of being, bribed in a little bit to think, yeah, he's injured, but actually in reality, maybe a move could be close. You just never know really, do you? And I think a lot of clubs, they don't want to let go of too much information at this stage of the season. So, yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game, that's for sure. I think Hülkenberg is a relatively apt replacement for Gvardiol. But yeah, obviously Mukiele left as well. Not so many people have talked about that one, but yeah, quite a big piece of news as well. Last week, the first choice right back, Mukiele, left to PSG, I think, for 12 million euros. What do you think about that one, Roy? Do you think they're going to miss him, or do you think it's a good deal for Leipzig?
Well, like I was saying in the show, it's just a chance free kick here for Bayern quickly. Everyone's gone rushing in, ball in, goes all the way through, and Mane was looking interested there at the back post. But yeah, on Mukiele, not far off. A couple of touches and then out for a goal kick in the end there. So RB doing just enough from a defensive standpoint there. I mean, they look a bit shy at right back now, don't they? So yeah, I suppose they'll go with this three at the back and use the wing backs anyway. There's obviously, we've kind of put together a banner at the bottom of the screen, which shows both teams' major incomings and outgoings. And Leipzig really haven't done much, to be frankly honest, have they? Other than the signing of Javier Slager, who's on the bench. But if they do make a signing, it looks like it's going to be David Raum, who's a hugely impressive player from Hoffenheim. Both myself and Mark really like him. But you could see Angelino go the other way. Do you reckon that's an upgrade on left back, isn't it, Mark? But there's still, like I said, there's still a whole right back for me.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one because when I first heard about it, I thought maybe they might try and switch Angelino over towards right back. Maybe.
What's Neuer done? Neuer's come out of goal. He's lost the ball, crossed in, and Sabitzer heads it behind for a corner.
Jeez, that was a lucky one, wasn't it?
That was classic Manuel Neuer. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there, Mark.
Yeah, he does make a few errors like that. A lot of people kind of like this sweeper keeper thing, but you see him making more and more errors with that at times. You know what I mean? At times, I wonder whether it's really that good, this whole sweeper keeper thing, because he does make a few errors with that. We've seen it time after time, especially against the better teams, But yeah, going back to, I actually thought when I first heard about it, I thought they might try and switch Angelino over to right back, but it seems as though, he's not comfortable playing that position and that they might actually end up at Hoffenheim, which, to be honest, I think if Hoffenheim get 30 million plus Angelino, I think it's a good deal for them, to be honest with you, because I think Angelino is a good player at this level, and despite the fact that he's not had the best season last year, I still think he will be a good signing and a good addition to Hoffenheim, plus the money. But at the moment, obviously, Raum is like the fashionable player, and Raum's the one you all want in your team. He had a brilliant season. He's been brilliant for Germany since he was capped in March, I think. And obviously he's a fashionable player. I even heard that Man City are after him as well. So, I think there's a lot of interest in David Raum at the moment. I would like to see him stay in the Bundesliga, but wouldn't be too surprised to see one of the big Premier League clubs, or maybe, the likes of PSG to go in. Yeah, a bit of a penalty claim as well on Kevin Campbell. What do you think about that one, Rory?
I wasn't overly sold on it. So I think every time I now see Kevin Campbell, I can't erase the picture of him and the Pokal trophy with him pouring in the can of Red Bull. It's like I'm scorned for life seeing that picture. It feels like he's defiling the trophy as he's doing it. Obviously, it's a picture that's done the rounds. So yeah, every time I see him, I just picture that image. So for some reason, maybe I've got an agenda against it now. But yeah, I wasn't sold on that one.
Oh, nice play in the midfield there, yeah.
As the game goes on, so we're almost 10 minutes in here. Yeah. So yeah, looks like a full stadium, full obviously a sellout as you would imagine at the Red Bull Arena. Do you know the reasoning behind why it's at RB Stadium, Mark? I don't know myself.
Yeah, they actually have an interesting policy with the Super Cup. So obviously in England and in most countries they play at a neutral ground, but actually in Germany they alternate whether it's at home or away, basically. So, for example, last year Bayern Munich played it in the Allianz against Dortmund, and they kind of switch it. And I think I don't know, is this Leipzig's first Super Cup? I don't think it is. I think they played a Super Cup before. I guess it would have been away from home that time as well. So I think it depends on the two teams and who hosted the last one, basically. But they kind of all alternate it, between. So basically, if Bayern are in the Super Cup next year against Leipzig, the game will be held at the Allianz. Do you know what I mean? So it depends on that. Whereas if it's against Dortmund, I think it would be at the Signal Iduna, because the last time those two teams played was in Bayern, basically. So they kind of, depending on the two teams, they alternated between home and away, basically. That's the way it's done, which I actually think is quite a nice system, really, because I think obviously in England, the Super Cup isn't taken that serious. Well, we don't even call it the Super Cup, do we? We call it the Community Shield, which just about says everything you need to know about it in England. But in Germany, it's actually taken as a serious competition. Like most, that's why you see full teams out there today. And, it's actually both teams out there want to win this today, whereas I get the feeling that over in England, it's just like a glorified friendly, really, in most cases.
Yeah, well, they're certainly not pulling out their challenges. A couple of very good challenges in the middle of the park there by, I think it was Willy Orban. I can't actually tell because the screen quality isn't brilliant on my laptop. But I think it was once on Gnabry, and then once on, is Musiala starting? I can't actually tell, but it was So yeah, one tackle there on Musiala. So Leipzig now back in possession. They've gone long here to Szoboszlai. It was looking interesting for a second there, but eventually gets through to Neuer. So no shots on target or to speak of at all yet so far, but I'm sure Bayern and Leipzig are just warming up to get us going for our first watch along here of the season on Over the Bar on the Bundesliga show. Nice diag to Muller there, good ball in, falls on the edge of the area to Kimmich, and he goes over in a heap. And it's play on. But Bayern starting to build a bit of momentum here, Mark. Muller again down the right, edge of the area. Good ball by Kimmich. Oy, and it's cleared just about for a corner. Much better from Bayern Munich.
Yeah, Muller's starting to get involved, isn't he? That's for sure. Muller's pulling the strings really there. I think Halstenberg with some good defending there as well. Read the pass from the side. Yeah, did well to clear the ball, but it was a great piece of play actually there. It was Bayern definitely looking the better of the sides at the moment. The corner is going to come in as well. Yeah. Just waiting for the corner to come in on my screen.
Yeah, just waiting for the corner. Yeah. Just whilst we're waiting for this, well, we'll just see it, let it come through. Flicked on by Muller. It's in the area. Scramble. Is that Musiala inside the area? Goal!
Dodgy defending there, I think, wasn't it?
Musiala
Not the
has
best
got our
defending there
SuperCup
for
on.
RB Leipzig, that's for sure.
Yeah. That was a bit of a mess. So, yeah, we have our first goal of the Super Cup of the season here on Over the Bar on the Bundesliga show. I knew we wouldn't be waiting long, so the corner came in.
First shot on target with the first goal.
Wow,
yeah, a
there
bit
you
of a
go.
scrappy one, really, wasn't it? I mean, what is the defense doing there? That's not good enough, really, defensively from Leipzig at all. But still, Musiala, one of the players really who's going to be looking to make a big breakthrough with a really nice finish past Gulazzi into the bottom corner. Not the best, really, from Helsingborg or from Campbell, really kind of like tracking back, and he lost his man, didn't he? Not really particularly good defending. Obviously, Nagelsmann, the former Leipzig manager as well, celebrating. He's got a lot of pressure, even in this game for Nagelsmann. He's got to start this season well to get the fans back on side. And yeah, they have started well, even though for me, that goal should have been prevented pretty easily, really, by Leipzig. What did you make of that one, Rory? Do you think it was more a case of good play from Bayern or weak defending from Leipzig?
That's pretty kind of pre-season defending, really, isn't it? Not overly impressive by the Red Bulls of Leipzig. Yeah, pretty average play. Campbell obviously then can't make a tackle on Musiala once he's behind him, and he's able to get his shot off. Gulacsi presumably is unsighted, so couldn't get down to it in time. Tidy enough finish, and yeah, first goal of the season for Bayern comes with the young man Musiala. What do you reckon this season holds for him, Mark? Because he's obviously a huge talent, and he's a young player, which you don't always get your chance at. Oh, wait a minute!
What goal?
Is it offside?
What's he done? Is it offside? Oh no! It looks as though we've got a decision to be made here. The linesman is flagged for offside, but I'm not sure. Did it not come off the Bayern man? I think that one's got to be checked, surely.
Yeah, they're having a look, obviously. Oh, no, yeah. Looks fairly obvious that it's a...
Yeah, he is, yeah. To me, it looked like it came off the Bayern man there, yeah, but it's, yeah. Good finish from Nkunku, clearly fit. But actually, or was it the double checking that? It did actually look as though it could have come off the Bayern man to me, actually. The double checking that. Oh, my screen is showing the replay again, so maybe they fancy it. I don't know.
Yeah, on my screen, I don't know what.
Long wait, aren't we?
No,
I think it's been chalked off. Yeah, it's been chalked off. The referee saying play on. Was that our first piece of Bayern luck of the season? We talk about it a lot, don't we? I think fans of smaller clubs, me included, obviously, as a Wigan fan over in the UK, like we always talk about fans of the smaller clubs always feel as though we get done over by the bigger clubs, you know what I mean? But was that, Rory, was that the first case of big club bias there, or was it a correct decision, do you think? Although they're coming again here.
It's pretty obvious that it comes off.
What a game of football!
Was it Simichan who was good in the press? Yeah, it's come to life now, hasn't it? Leipzig trying to break forwards, but Bayern just about put that fire out, and they go back to Neuer. Looks like we do have the odd Bayern fan, which I'm sure we do, watching this evening. So hope you're all enjoying the game and enjoying tuning in with us. If it's for the first time, or if you're coming back for more, hope you're all doing well. And we've got a good game on our hands now. All of a sudden, it's sprung to life. Inaccuracies in the passing of Bayern there, but they again managed to cut it out by the good press. And here's Gnabry on the ball down the right. Do you see any kind of tactic as Bayern are going forward, Mark? It seems to me that they're ever so slightly favouring the right-hand side.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a very attacking game. I've got to be honest, some of the passing in midfield from Leipzig needs to improve. They're not keeping the ball enough, and we know what happens when you do that against Bayern Munich. If you give them too much of the ball, they're just going to grind you down eventually. Do you know what I mean? And Leipzig are a team that are capable of keeping possession, even against the better teams. But to be honest, Leimer, I've been very disappointed with him so far. I've spent so much of pre-season talking him up, but I'm not sure if he's actually made a decent pass all game so far. Yeah, but it's to be honest, he's given the ball away quite a few times, and a little bit worrying from him. Is his head distracted a little bit? I don't know, but it's Bayern, I like the way they're playing it out at the back. Upamecano is looking very, very solid there at the back so far, and almost trying to find Mane there with the long ball, but it was intercepted by Halstenberg. Yeah, Bayern just getting all the play, really, aren't they? Apart from that Nkunku chance, which was disallowed. But the ball comfortably ends up in Gulazzi's hands, and they're going to try and build from the back, and they need to do more of that. They need to start building from the back, otherwise it's going to be a long evening for Leipzig, I'm afraid, because Bayern are starting to get too much of the ball in the Leipzig half, and we know that you can't give them too many chances because they've got a handful of players who can score goals at any given opportunity, really, I would say.
Yeah, they are. And I mean, I do agree in the fact that I think RB obviously needs to get a lot more of the ball. But they need it obviously in the forward positions, don't they? As they're coming down their right-hand side now, Bayern's left. Ball played through them. Nkunku looks a mile offside, but Neuer's got that.
They're just going for the long pass every time. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. And maybe that's fine when you've got a Yusuf Poulsen or an Andre Silva to bring it down to and to bring players into the game off their chest or their heads. But obviously they don't have that. They've got the kind of two false nines, or obviously Nkunku is more of a striker, but they've got Forsberg up there as well, who's obviously not the most dynamic, or certainly he's not going to chase a lot of long balls and get onto them, is he? So, maybe RB needs to slightly amend their tactics. But we were 20 minutes in now into this watch along, so hope everyone that is watching is enjoying so far. Please make sure that you do drop the video a like, obviously comment along wherever you're watching from. It'd be really interesting to see what countries people are watching from. So if you're watching from the US or the UK, anywhere else in Europe or across the globe, do give us a shout as Bayern come forward. But RB, if they want a cheap free kick, they have done, and so they'll be able to clear their lines. So, right, 20 minutes in, Mark, what are your initial thoughts so far? Bayern looking pretty strong, and Leipzig just, they're obviously having to deal with quite a hard press here, which is obviously a tactic of Nagelsmann's, wanting to win the ball high up the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very, very good first 22 minutes or so from Bayern. Nobody can question that. I mean, it really has been good. I mean, obviously, they're playing away from home in this game against what most people are tipping up to be the most likely title challengers. And to be honest with you, those of the people watching this first 20 minutes won't be too hopeful of a title challenge. Let's just say that much. Because I'll be honest, Bayern have looked dominant in every way. The press has been brilliant. Leipzig have barely strung a move of 2 or 3 passes together in 22 minutes, to be honest with you. I think Bayern have just been head and shoulders better. I mean, they were a little bit unlucky, Leipzig, to get that goal chalked off, because that was good pressing in the midfield, and it was probably offside by half a yard, wasn't he? Which was probably correct in the end, but that could have been a goal with a bit of luck. But Bayern are just looking too good to me. Mane on the ball as well, doing some good play in the middle of the field. Yeah. Well won back as well though by Heinrichs. Yeah, but again, it's just a pointless long ball upfield. I don't know what Leipzig's tactics are really. I'm failing to see them at the minute. Because I would have started Andre Silva. If they're going to try and play that kind of football, why didn't they play Andre Silva? I'm just a little bit confused, to be honest with you. But Yeah, I don't think Leipzig. Forsberg has just offered absolutely nothing. Let's be honest, has he at all? I mean, he is a player that runs hot and cold, very much so. You know, he's a player that can be good on his day, but he can also be equally bad. But I don't know why Silva's not starting up there. I'm a little bit unsure on that one. What do you think about that? Would you have started Silva there, Rory? Or
Yeah, it depends what Tedesco's trying to get out of this game, I guess. Like whether he still wants it as an element of pre-season in terms of getting minutes under certain players' legs. I don't know how much Silva's played in pre-season. Just as Bayern again building inside the Leipzig half. Limas to me still looks very energetic. He still looks to be leading the RB charge in a way. So for me, I'm glad that I can see that that energy from him that he always brings. Still barking out orders in midfield. So his head maybe does look switched on. I think it's fair to say. Hopefully he and RB grow into the game. Here's a long ball for Mane to chase, but well out there. Peter Galacci. So almost 25 minutes gone here. The home crowd, presume it's a fairly home partisan crowd. I don't know how many Munich fans have travelled. But
there's a few thousand.
I can't imagine they'll be particularly. Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, we have to listen to. Well, we don't listen to the games obviously because we both got them on mute, so we can't really get the kind of atmosphere on our screens, unfortunately. But I can imagine it's a lot quieter than it was at kickoff. But here are RB back on the ball and now trying to get their way out of it. It's really interesting when you see like RB on the ball from the back mark, because obviously you can see their back three, which is fairly spread out. But then Bayern have got that front four basically pressing and hunting as a pack, and it really closes down their space, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think some of those Leipzig defenders are like the best on the ball as well at times. I mean, Halstenberg is, a bit limited in some ways, I would say, and he's really struggled so far this half. Halstenberg, and I would say Klosterman as well hasn't looked that comfortable. I'd say probably Simakon has maybe looked the most comfortable of the three, but yeah, definitely Bayern's press is just killing Leipzig so far, and I do agree with you, Rory, that despite Lima's passing perhaps not being that good so far, he's leading the press, that's for sure, and he is a live wire, and that's one of the main functions of him in that team. But yeah, Bayern are just looking so good so far, really. It's almost scary, really. I really had hope that Leipzig would come out and do a job on them tonight, but from what we've seen in the first, 26 minutes, it's not looking even close to being lively at the minute. I think a few Leipzig players are struggling a little bit out there with the press. Even Pavard, Pavard's running himself into the ground. He's not always been seen as the player that, is the best in that whole pressing system, but it seems as though Nagelsmann has really got onto him over the preseason and said, you've got to press as much as possible. But yeah, things looking really, really good for Bayern so far. They've been very impressive in this, despite not creating that many chances, but they've been by far the better side, and they will know if they can win this game, then it's a big kind of like signal towards Leipzig that they're still the top dog going into the season. And, the way things are going at the moment, I can not only see them winning it, but I can see them winning it relatively comfortably, in truth. Rory, do you think Leipzig, what have you thought of Leipzig so far? We talked a lot about Bayern, but what do you think about the system, how they played so far? Do you think it's looking promising for them?
Obviously we've already mentioned they're struggling with the press, that they're being put under by the Bayern forwards. So that is obviously leading to a bit of a panic from the defensive standpoint, and then they're struggling to retain a lot of the ball. Again, we've kind of already mentioned the fact that they've got the kind of two false nines in a way. RB managing to defend that latest attack from Bayern, and Galacci's got it again. I guess they're a bit. Their tactics so far look a bit confused because they are trying to play out from the back, but then they get to a point, 2-3 passes in, Bayern close the space down like they are right now. Pavard is literally inside the RB box with the
Wow.
press, and they're now in their own corner and they win a goal kick. But that is a superb. That is a press done properly. That is, how do you get out of that? So I'm struggling to find a way to describe how RB get themselves out of it, because the best way of getting out of the press is either passing your way out if you've got the players to do it, which in theory RB do, or playing straight through it or over it, which they are also doing, but they don't have a Silva or a Paulson to win those challenges or bring any players into the game as much. So they're in a bit of a crossfire here, and Bayern have retained the ball again. And Nkunku and Forsberg are doing their best up there to try and create something, but ultimately right now it's not quite going the way of Red Bull Leipzig. Again, thanks to everyone for tuning in so far tonight. I hope everyone's having a good weekend so far, good Saturday evening, whatever you've been doing. I've been tuning into a bit of the Commonwealth Games myself, been enjoying that as Bayern come forward again. But RB do well to kind of douse the flame a little bit. And the last kind of 5 minutes or so, Marv, the game's been a bit more kind of unstructured, but it's kind of hindered Bayern, and maybe that's something that RB need to do to just slow the game down, win a few cheap free kicks, and maybe get an opportunity from a set piece or something like that.
Yeah, they've got to try and build a way into the game, into tactically as well as obviously in terms of creating chances as well. And I think the start of that, they've got to get more of the ball at the back. But I think at the moment they're just nervous because obviously Bayern's press has been so good. And again, you just see the long ball over the top, just aimlessly going into Neuer's hands. That's happened probably 6 or 7 times in this first half an hour of this game. I just think, Bayern have got the tactics spot on. They've clearly done some good work on the press over the summer. They've just won another free kick as well from, I think, another foul by Halstenberg there, was it? Or Orban. Yeah, no, it was Lima again. Lima's made, I think, 5 or 6 small fouls in the game as well. Nothing enough to get him booked so far, but he has given away quite a few free kicks. But that's sometimes what you got to do, to get yourself fired up. Yeah, I don't think it's been that good from Leipzig so far, but it's easier said than done, because Bayern's press has been frightening, and they're in again here. It's 2-0. Was it onside? Mane looks as though he's got his first goal for FC Bayern Munich, and it's just frightening football again. They're just so good, this Bayern side, aren't they? Yeah, I think one of Mane's, well, I wouldn't say his first touches, but his first shot. Sorry? Yeah.
No,
it looks onside.
Yeah.
Easy peasy, 2-0. They deserve that,
Great
I would
football,
say. I'm not surprised to see the goal coming. Again, it's Musiala with the ball, then Gnabry with the ball across, and Mane with his first goal. Is he going to be the new Lewandowski? Because that was very, very much a Lewandowski-style goal, let's be honest, with the brilliant run, like tearing the defence apart. And it's just... all those people watching this game thinking, maybe this could be the start of the end for Bayern Munich are going to be crying themselves to sleep right now, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, they look good. I think, just to get this one under the belt will be exactly what Nagelsmann would have been looking for. He would not have wanted it's not embarrassing to lose to RB Leipzig, but he and the club would consider it embarrassing to lose the Super Cup to anyone. So they're looking good at the moment, but never say never. Obviously, it's still very early days in the Red Bull Arena here, and Leipzig just needs a bit of luck or something like that to go their way to get them kick-started.
Just hasn't been good enough.
No, he's not been in the game, has he? It's been pretty anonymous. The Bayern press is just it's so good. Here we go though. They got out of it here. Here comes Lima. Good ball across. There's no one there. Comes all the way out to Hendricks.
Yeah, where is he at all?
And the ball back goes out for a throw in. chance. Really, I mean, yeah. Obviously, it doesn't lead to a shot on target, but as you said, where's the centre? Where's the centre forward there?
I'm just not convinced by Forsberg at times. I think he can have the odd good game, but I just think like on a regular basis, he's not the business for me. You know, for me, I'd be starting Andre Silva, getting him in there, and making him your number one starting player. Do you know what I mean? This season, I know he didn't have the best season last season, but we know that he can do it at Bundesliga level. Obviously with Frankfurt, and I just think they have won a free kick here on a very soft foul on Forsberg. I'll be honest with you now. Like it was I think there was nothing in that one. What do you think about that one, Rory? That was a joke, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the camera kind of panned away on my screen, but it just looked like he flopped over. But yeah, chance to get the ball in the area. Here's the ball in from Szoboszlai. Oh yeah, he does have that in his locker. Szoboszlai. He has had a couple of free kicks where he kind of just curls them all the way in.
Decent effort, that there was pace on that.
Yeah, it's good effort, but it's never beaten Neuer, is it? Let's be honest. Let's see what happens though from this corner. Short corner by RB. Oh God, what are they doing? Just get the ball in the area. I think that's what half their players are saying. Get the ball in the area. I truly hate short corners.
It seems the most pointless thing ever. It's like they risk losing the ball just to put the same ball that would be coming from a corner anyway. Do you know what I mean? It just seems so pointless, really.
Yeah, I guess players try to do it to kind of create a different angle or a better angle. But yeah, anyway, Leipzig having a bit of a better spell here, at least though. Last few minutes, they had that ball whips across the area. Had the free kick from Szoboszlai, and now they're building again down the left-hand side. And they're trying to find, Lime has been robbed. Here we go. Here's the Bayern counter. Musiala, great feet. He's having a good game as well.
Musiala is having a stormer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's playing well. Good evening to everyone that's watching, that's tuning in. To Rich, Everton fan, hope you're doing well. What are your expectations for Everton this season, just out of interest? Steve Timms, Chris Saunders, Mark Baker, hope you're all doing well, lads, as well. And yeah, it's Simakan who goes into the first booking of the game, I believe, unless we've had one already, Mark.
No, the first one, yeah. And Sabitzer, we know he likes a free kick as well. Scored a lot of free kicks over in Leipzig as well in his career, that's for sure. Let's see what he can do with this one.
Yeah. You talk us through it.
Yeah, standing over the ball here, yeah. Obviously, Marcel Sabitzer against his former club on a rare start for Bayern Munich as well in this game. Set very, very central. Players don't usually score from this position unless the keeper makes an error. He's taking it straight into the wall. Comes out to Upamecano, who's got the ball in the corner and wins a throw-in off Heinrichs. But again, Bayern, they're just not wasting any of the ball. It's just been so good from them. They've just been, they like to make an impression in these first games of the season, don't they? And that's what they've done tonight. This has just been a superb performance. Not necessarily indicative of how the season will go, because to be honest, I don't think Leipzig have really seemed that prepared for this game in some ways, to be honest. What would you say, Roy? Do you think it's a class difference, or do you just think Leipzig don't seem that prepared, or what? What do you think it is? Because there has been a big gulf in quality in this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, there has been. And from the bits that I've seen of pre-season, RB haven't been great. Obviously, they got put to the sword by, by a very good team in the shape of Liverpool not too long ago. They've not, with all the positivity that came in the Rückrunde under Tedesco, their pre-season probably hasn't lived up to, pre-season is pre-season, isn't it? I don't mean as in like pre-season needed to be good, but they've not come out of the traps so far today. A bit of both, I guess, in terms of the class difference, because there clearly is, there are certain players on that Bayern pitch on the pitch that are just, they'll world superstars, and that is just the case. So yeah, a bit of both, I would say. But Leipzig have got it in them to play good football and great football at times. We saw it in the Rückrunde, but Tedesco just obviously at this particular juncture in the game can't get a tune out of them. Maybe he will. I mean, I'm expecting changes at half time already. Being frank, I think I'd expect to see Andre Silva. I don't know if there's a fitness issue around him with regards to his involvement in this game, but I'd like to see him in there. I'd like to see them bring in the new man, Xavier Schlager, a bit more kind of steel in the middle, maybe him and Lima, maybe take out a midfielder and maybe go to maybe take out Campbell or maybe change the formation perhaps. So yes, we will see how the game goes. But what are we on now? We're on 38 minutes, so about 7 odd minutes until half time. Can RB Leipzig get themselves back into this game as Bayern tried to make a couple of nice, cute touches to go forwards, and now they're having to cope a little bit with an RB Leipzig press. Can see 5 players inside of the Bayern half, but Bayern do well to kind of calm that situation in particular, and they're building out from the back here. Obviously, with about 5 minutes until half time, if anyone in the chat has any questions at all with regards to this game, with regards to the new Bundesliga season, or indeed German football at all, for myself and Mark, get them in and we'll do them at half time. And we'll have a little bit of a chat about the game in general, the stats. I would say that we'd do a bit of powerhouse chat, but we are going to do a short review video of that for you guys, and we'll bring that out early next week. But there's been some great results in that today so far. Loads of football happening to keep on top of so far today and this weekend, which has been great. Wins for Nuremberg and Stuttgart. So me and Mark were happy chappies yesterday. So yeah, it's all been going off, and we're thoroughly excited to have football back. Just as Campbell tries to find a good diag here. Oh, Szoboszlai tries a cute back heel and he messes it up. Just when we thought there might be a good opportunity there. I don't know if he needed to do that, or maybe if it was a necessary thing to do.
He's one of those players that needs Szoboszlai. He likes the flair, but nowadays I think most top managers prefer players to go for the percentage pass or the percentage play. Do you know what I mean? And I think Szoboszlai isn't one of those kind of players, that's for sure. It's he likes he goes for the spectacular, but as of last season and from what we've seen of him in the Bundesliga, more often than not, it doesn't come off, let's be honest. So, but yeah, I think obviously he's a very highly rated player. He's done well for Hungary. He did well for RB Salzburg as well before he joined Leipzig, but we'll just have to see what he can do this season. Hasn't had his best game as well today so far, wasted a couple of good plays. Yeah, I would say him and Forsberg are going to be struggling to stay on the pitch ahead of the second half, in truth. They seem more like luxury kind of players, them two, to me, really, and I don't think the kind of players that you want when you play in Bayern Munich. You want your Xavier Schlagers and your Andre Silvas who are going to work a little bit harder for me against Bayern Munich, not your Emil Forsberg. I think those kind of players are more against weaker teams, in my view. I think those kind of players, they've got that bit of flair that can sometimes unlock, some deep defending teams. But I think against Bayern, they don't work hard enough, in my view, at times. And I think, as I say, the luxury players, I would rather see the likes of Xavier Schlager. He'd be perfect for this kind of game, because he's like your classic box-to-box midfielder. The summer signing from Wolfsburg, excellent player. One of my favorite players in the Bundesliga, along with Lima, actually. So I'd absolutely love to see them two line up in midfield against each other. I do believe that they can play against each other on the same side. I believe that they've got slightly different qualities, and I do believe that I would like to see that ahead of the second half, both of them line up. I don't think Campbell's been great in this game. He's also wasted a few balls. So yeah, do expect to see a few changes in this half by Leipzig.
Yeah, indeed. A a bit of a wasted corner there by Szoboszlai. Went way too long and deep. But they have retrieved the situation and they've got the ball inside of Bayern's half. Just about 2 minutes left of the first half of the Super Cup between RB Leipzig. Their poke out. Oh my God, what's going on here? There's a slip at the back by Campbell. Bayern got players forward. It's a deflection. Oh my word, deflection and just over. That would have been an absolute mockery of a goal.
Not good enough, this is it. Not good enough from Leipzig, pure and simple. Like Campbell, he's been a player that I've been questioning for a while, actually. For me, I wouldn't have him on the starting pitch. For me, for RB Leipzig, I would want to see Schlager out there ahead of, really from the first game of the season, in truth. You know, I think he can be a liability. And again, he's one of those players that tries to do too much at times. Kevin Campbell, and he's a little bit lightweight. That's the other problem for me at times. And that was shown again there in this match. Yeah, too many poor performances from Leipzig, and they were lucky not to concede a third. And let's be honest, a third goal would have been the end of the game. Although the corner comes in here and it's just been deflected over. Geez, they just can't catch a break at the moment. The RB, can they?
No, I don't know what Hernandez is trying to insinuate there with Klosterman. I don't know if he's trying to say it was handball, but here comes another short free kick, corner rather. Good interplay. Here we go. And there we go. 3-0.
Not good enough, this from RB Leipzig.
Goal. And I was just as I was slating the short corner that RB took down the other end about 5 minutes ago.
Where's the defence, though? Where's the defence at all? It's a second goal that's come from this kind of scenario, and it's just, it's not pleasant watching for an RB Leipzig fan. Again, Campbell, where is he at all? He just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing at times in that midfield today. Yeah, and it's again good play. I think was it Musiala again with the build-up play. What a half he's having there.
Yeah, no, Musiala was heavily involved. Kimmich with the quick corner with the idea. And yeah, they're just showing pictures of Domenico Tedesco. And he looks like a man without any answers at the moment for the German champions, because they're free up to the goods.
They're coming again, Bayern here too. They're just this has been hard to watch from an RB Leipzig perspective. It hasn't been good enough, really. But Bayern again, they're just, what a team they are. It's frightening, really, at times. What a half this has been. It's almost been like men against boys for most of the half, hasn't it? But I'm going to be honest, RB Leipzig simply haven't been good enough. There's been 2 or 3 performances out there which are just not good enough at this level. And Kevin Campbell, Szoboszlai, Forsberg just haven't been present really for the whole half, if I'm being honest with you. And I expect to see big change. I think the game is lost regardless now, really, for Leipzig. But, they need a strong second half to show that they're a serious club going into this season, I would say.
Yeah, true. You'd think that they'll probably struggle now. But just as the half-time whistle has indeed blown the Red Bull Arena, and like we said, we can't put our volume on our screens, but I can imagine it's either dead silent or there's probably quite a lot of booing going on in the crowd, because they've RB have been pretty poor. Half-time. So myself and Mark are just going to take a bit of time to go through the match stats so far. We'll probably have a little bit of a chat about the business that both teams have done so far in the market, because we've got it on the banner going below. So maybe we'll have a look at that and what we've made of both teams' summer signings and indeed outgoing so far. As I mentioned, if you've got any questions, throw them into us. If you're a Bayern fan, what have you made of it so far? I know we've got a few watching already. Are you impressed, or is it what you expected? If there's any RB fans out there hiding away, pop out and say, vent your angers and frustrations. Let us know what's going on. So I'll just leave you, Mark, to kind of talk through some of the or introduce the signings that maybe Bayern have made and what you make of that whilst I get the stats up for halftime?
Yeah, I think obviously we're not the only signing that we're seeing on the pitch this half is obviously Mane, and it couldn't have started better for him, really. You know, that's the kind of goal that Julian Nagelsmann's going to want him to score this season as well. You know, and I think he's had a very, very good half. Not outstanding, but very good for his first half of the club. Absolutely no question. You know, his constant running and the press from the front has been brilliant. The touches that he has had have been absolutely brilliant as well. Obviously, getting the goal off the mark with a goal. What more can you ask, really? Fantastic first half for him. As for the bench, you know, we've also got a few new. Obviously, De Ligt signed for 65 million euros. He's probably the biggest name that we see on the bench, you know, obviously. But to be honest, judging on what we've seen with the partnership between Upamecano and Hernandez, I think they've all been brilliant in this half, actually. I don't know what you think, Rory, but I think all three of them can be very, very happy with their first half's work. You know, I think De Ligt's going to be watching it thinking, how am I going to get into this team at the moment? Because it has been a very, very impressive defensive and attacking effort. Other names to look out for as for the new signings on the bench are probably Mazraoui from Ajax and obviously Gravenberch as well. I think, you know, obviously Dutch football is very similar to I think the Eredivisie is very similar to the Bundesliga in some ways. So that's why German clubs like to sign players from the Netherlands. And I think obviously Ajax are the kind of top dog over there, aren't they? And I think, you know, they handpicked two of the best midfielders that Ajax have produced in the last few years. Can't profess to know that much about them myself, you know, I will be honest, you know, but looking forward to seeing them over this season. Yeah, I think obviously, especially Gravenberch is very, very highly rated. I think he was even the captain for Ajax, I think, for the last couple of years. So, yeah, probably an exciting player. And if Bayern Munich have signed him, then he must be good. Let's say that much.
Yeah, very much so. We'll come back to the transfers in a minute, though, but in a sec. So let's just go through the statistics that we've got on the screen right now. So obviously, they often tell the tale of the half, and what have we seen? We've seen a lot of ball possession for Bayern. You know, they've led really well with that press, haven't they, Mark? And it's obviously led to a lot of ball recoveries and ball retention. The fact that they're making RB Leipzig go long from goal kicks or mainly from the back three players. 6 goal attempts to 2. I can't profess to even remember the 2 from Leipzig. Well, I suppose one of them is the Szoboszlai free kick, which will be their shot on goal. 3 shots on goal for Bayern have all led to goals. So that won't be pretty reading for poor old Galacci. Do you think he stood a chance with any of them, Mark? I don't think harsh to really say that he should have saved any of them, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he could have saved any of them. It's his defence that have let him down. And not only his defence, I would say the midfield has been the most worrying thing for Leipzig. You know, I think Campbell has had a shocker, basically. I think he's been at fault for 2 of the goals at least, and possibly even 3. He was kind of involved with the errors, you know. I just don't think it's been good enough from him, you know. The Leipzig, they're just not keeping possession in that midfield. That's the problem. As you can see, 37% for a side with the quality of Leipzig is just not enough, you know. For a side like Leipzig, the minimum they should be having is like, you know, 42, 43% really in any game, you know, even against the best teams, I would say. So it's not been good enough, and, you know, giving the ball away in bad areas, despite the fact that, let's be honest, I mean, the press has been world-class from Bayern, no question about that. But still, a side of Leipzig's quality should be able to play themselves out of it more than they have done so far this half, there's no question. You can see obviously more statistics. I mean, the attacks is just frightening, really. A little bit more than double the number of attacks Bayern have had. Dangerous attacks as well is still more in favour of Bayern, despite the fact that it's not quite so top heavy. But yeah, I mean, passes double as well. It's been basically, you know, everything has been double, hasn't it? Basically, it's just Bayern have just been a lot better than RB Leipzig all over the pitch, and the scoreline of 3-0 at half-time really, really shows that in clear form. And I can't say they don't deserve a 3-0 lead as well. For me, they deserve every bit of that 3-0 lead. They've been very, very good, and Leipzig have been very, very poor, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is about the stretch of it. They've been completely dominant the way that they've played. They've been really good. So yeah, tricky reading. But let's go back to the summer signings then, and where we probably talked a little bit about Bayern. Obviously, they brought in really well, and we know that Lewandowski's left, and what sort of a hole that might bring. We can talk about that as the season goes on. Kind of touch more on RB Leipzig then, Mark. Particularly on the players brought in, because technically speaking, it's only one major signing so far, and obviously that's a signing that makes a great amount of sense. Xavier Schlager, top quality player, as you mentioned, an all-round midfielder, box to box. When I saw Leipzig go to sign him, I assumed they were doing it as a direct replacement for Lima. But obviously so far that's not the case, and they are holding ground on that, which I applaud actually, because I'm, all the Bayern cherry picking thing that, does rile me up a little bit, as well as everyone, in regards to how they kind of take the best players from the next best team. So I'm glad Lima is still there, although I believe the player does want to move. Obviously, apart from Raum, who should come in, what do you think Leipzig need to do in this market? They've obviously got a great kind of depth of attacking players, but do they need to add in there? Or they've already strengthened their midfield in theory with Schlager. So do you think they maybe need some more defensive reinforcements because they've let go of Tyler Adams and Mukiele in recent weeks?
Yeah, I think, the fullbacks just aren't. I don't think Halstenberg and Klosterman are title-winning quality. That's the first point. You know what I mean? I can totally see why they want to get Raum in. But, for me, a right back is actually more urgent than a left back, in truth, because obviously, they've got, Angelino, who's still an improvement in my eyes. He didn't have the best season last year, I'll be honest. But, I think the fullbacks is a big issue for them. But I think also they need a starting lineup. For me, the problem with Leipzig over the last few years is that they don't have that clear starting lineup. And I think you do need that to an extent if you're not one of the very, very top clubs like, your Bayern Munich, your Man Cities, your Liverpools, where you've got enough top world-class players to rotate. I don't quite understand their lineup today, in truth, at times. The likes of Forsberg probably gets too much game time for my liking, really, at times. I'm not overly convinced on Heinrichs either at times. I just think they've got better players within the ranks. Where's Dani Olmo? Where's Andre Silva for this game? For me, they're better players than a lot of the ones out on the pitch right now. And I do rate the manager. I do rate, obviously, Tedesco, but it's a big season for him still because, if they don't kick off well to the season, he's not immune to the sack. Let's say that much. He's not been there long enough to kind of make himself immune to the sack. And, keeping Lima is absolutely massive. And just looking at Bayern's team, do they really need Lima? That's what I can say. Like, we saw with Sabitzer last year, he was pleased as punch, thought he was moving to the best club in Germany. And I think he only started 9 games throughout the whole season, and he's played well today as well, but Lima's got to be looking at that and thinking, they've got Goretzka, they've got Kimmich, which are pretty much immovable at the best of times. Musiala, who I know he's not really a central midfielder, he's more of a further forward player, but what a player Musiala is. He's got to be playing every game for Bayern for me this season. I have no question about that. For me, he is, I would actually say he's better than Gnabry in many ways, for me, Musiala. I know they play a slightly different position, but for me, Musiala has got to be starting. I just question, do they really need Lima? Because they have signed Gravenberg, who I believe is a similar kind of player, and also Mazraoui is another central midfielder too. So do they really need 6-7 central midfielders in the season? I don't know, really.
I think Mazraoui is a more the right back / DM, but okay. Yeah, I get your point. Question in from Gary that I'll put on the screen for you, Mark, actually, and it's in regards to the juggernaut that is Bayern. So, he's asked you, Mark, with your experience of living in Germany, can you tell us people outside of Munich or what people outside of Munich think of Bayern? Are they liked? So, yeah, over to you.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting question, and definitely something that I've asked a lot of people as well, actually, about this question, because I would have presumed that most people hate Bayern, to be honest, given the fact that they've been the dominant force for decades now in Germany. Let's be honest, they've got titles galore, but actually, in my experience, they're not as hated as what you'd imagine, to be honest. And I would definitely say they're respected. Definitely, people respect Bayern, and I can tell you the reason for that is because many people in Germany, they think that they garner the money through honest means, basically, through sponsorships with companies that are based in Munich. Obviously, their big sponsorships are with Allianz, Audi, and T-Mobile, which are all companies that are based in and around Munich, basically. So many people think, they use local companies. That's how they garner the money. Whereas the likes of RB Leipzig, they use an Austrian company in Red Bull to basically, many people believe that Red Bull Leipzig are basically just like a walking advertisement for Red Bull, basically. That's why Leipzig are hated so much. I would say they're not liked for sure because people know that they're the team to beat, but they're definitely respected in Germany. That's one thing I would say. People respect them. Many people also support them in the Champions League as well because of the coefficients. So it's not really like in England where most people don't support, for example, City fans don't support United or Liverpool or Chelsea. Whereas in Germany, people do support the other teams apart from RB Leipzig, basically. Like nobody supports Leipzig in any situation. But I would say fans of, teams like Frankfurt, all the other Bundesliga teams do support Bayern in the Champions League because they want them to win or to go far in the Champions League so that Germany has a better coefficient, which means more places in Europe. So it does kind of make sense, but yeah, I would definitely say FC Bayern Munich, they have fans all over Germany as well, not just in the Munich or Bavaria area. I don't know if a lot of people know this actually, but the word Bayern in German actually means Bavaria, basically. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but it literally means Bavaria Munich. So they have most of the fans do come within Bavaria, and Bavaria is the biggest province or Bundesländer, as they call it here in Germany, And, also Nuremberg is also part of Bayern or Bavaria as well. So, yeah, definitely. Although in the Nuremberg area, there's not that many Bayern fans because obviously Nuremberg is the big club in this area. But, yeah, definitely respected, I would say that much. Not so much hated by the majority, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, interesting question. Thanks very much for that, Gary. One more question's come in from Ben. We appreciate the predictive text, so don't worry, Ben, we've got you there. So is there any truth in the rumours of that Bayern want to sell Leroy Sané? From my perspective, I think, I know that the club weren't impressed with his attitude and indeed his first season back with the club. So there was a lot of chatter about him going. I think he did pick up his form significantly, particularly in the latter half of the last season. I think if the right offer was on the table, I'd probably say that they'd be quite happy to part ways with him. I don't know where the player would want to go or move on. There was more chat about Gnabry, to be honest, with regards to his contract extension. And him potentially moving on to another club or even going back to England at one point. But what do you reckon, Mark? Do you think there's any truth in those rumours about Sané potentially moving on this summer? I can't see it happening at this stage now, to be frankly honest.
I think there could potentially have been some truth, but I think now that the season started, I wouldn't imagine them to want to let him go because then again, they have signed that winger from Rennes for 20 million. So perhaps, it is possible that this could be his last season unless he improves. Because I'll be honest with you, he hasn't been good, really. A lot of Bayern fans are just not really that sold on him. They don't really see what he's all about. And also his performances for Germany as well have been bang average in most cases. So he's not the most popular guy in Germany. Let me say that much, Leroy Sané. A lot of people think his attitude, as Rory said, is not really good enough. And obviously in German football, it's very much about like having a group ethic, which is why it's so important that they don't have any troublemakers within the roster, and a lot of Bayern fans and a lot of pundits in Germany, they believe that Sané could be disrupting the harmony of Bayern, which, always the strength of Bayern over the years has been the harmony. That's been part of the strength, Many people say that Bayern Munich is basically like a kind of feeder team for the German national team in some ways. If you want to play for the German national team, you've got to play for Bayern Munich, But I think for me, Sané, he's not really done it in his time in Munich. And obviously he pushed very hard for this move as well. He really wanted to move from Man City to Bayern. And it's a little bit surprising that he's not done better because but I do believe that this, if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say they'll keep him until next season. But I think this probably will be his last season at Bayern, in truth.
Yeah, indeed, good stuff. So we'll have to see if he remains at the club. But at this stage, you probably get the feeling that he's going to. Good timing in terms of taking those questions, going through some transfer bits and bobs, and indeed the stats, because I can see Sadio Mane just jogging back out onto the turf at the Red Bull Arena. Get some nice pictures from outside the ground just there. Everyone else is making their way back out onto the pitch. I'm just kind of scouting for any new players on either side. I can't see that Bayern have made any changes, or indeed Leipzig, but we'll get confirmation, I presume, on my screen shortly with regards to what changes have or have not been made. It'd be surprising if Leipzig haven't made any, Mark. 3-0 down at half time, you kind of feel like you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Just an interesting point there. I was just watching the screens, and the co-commentator on the German TV is actually a man that you might remember, Rory, a certain Ralf Ragnick. He's the co-commentator over here in Germany. Not particularly fondly.
I love it. I'm a big fan of Ralf. I tell you what, like he. I won't get into Man United business on a German stream or watch along that we're getting on with, but I appreciated his honesty whilst he was at the club. He obviously didn't, he couldn't get his style of football going, the old Gegen pressing. It just didn't work, and the players didn't buy into it. But I'd love to hear him doing commentary. I think that'd be a real treat. Yeah. So. Yeah, I'll maybe have to try and find some clips.
I might turn it on for you guys. Yeah, but it'll be in German. That's the only problem. Yes. But yeah, absolutely. He's got a great voice in English, actually, hasn't he? They call him the professor over here in Germany, and you can see why. He's got that very, very articulate way of describing things, even in English, doesn't he? So I hope, in some ways, I actually hope that he'd succeed at Man United, because I do like the guy a lot, and I think. Yeah, he's very much German football through and through. He believes in the German systems, and obviously as a Bundesliga fan, I would have liked to have seen him do better. But what did Man United fans think of him, Rory? Would you say did they like him in the end, or most of them were just happy to see him leave?
I think it was actually an even split. I think the vast majority of them didn't like him. I think. There was also a third, I'd say a third, maybe the fan base that appreciated his honesty, like I said, and were really excited by the fact that they were getting this head coach or manager who kind of championed the idea of Gegen pressing and playing, that kind of style of football. It was evident for 3 games maybe at the start, and then it just dwindled. The players just didn't do it, unfortunately, and that was pretty much that. A bit of a shame, but I'm glad he's got a gig for now. Maybe he was too far removed from head coaching, because the United gig was his first in a while, wasn't it? So maybe he's best off enjoying himself. But here come. Back to the game anyway. Less about Man United.
That's for next week.
We can talk about that another time. Suffered their first loss today, actually, in pre-season, but we won't overreact. We won't.
No
anyway,
back to
the
game.
RB.
No
No,
subs, which is
not.
incredible, really.
Yeah, very strange as they're just clearing from another Bayern attack. Forsberg trying to do his best there to do a bit of a Yusuf Poulsen type header, but he unfortunately loses out. Here comes Musiala again. Quick feet. Alonso with the low cross, but doesn't get past the thing that's Klosterman, and it's out for a Bayern throw-in. So early doors in the second half. Welcome all to those that are watching. If you just started watching at half time, or if you've been with us from the start, thank you very much for tuning in for our first watch along of the season. As everyone's kind of been uttering and requesting, we will be doing plenty more of these, just as Davies goes down the left again, but it's a half decent block and RB recover from it. But yeah, so, thanks very much for everyone for tuning in, and we will be doing plenty of these watch alongs. And join us a week Wednesday for another Super Cup, but this time the UEFA Super Cup between Real Madrid, of course, Champions League winners, and Eintracht Frankfurt, the Europa League winners. So we'll be buzzing to do that one. Mark, are you looking forward to seeing Frankfurt in action again?
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one, actually. I think it's going to be really, really good, that one. I think Bayern will take it really, really seriously. Sorry, I think Frankfurt will take it really seriously, and both teams will want to win that one, And I think, Frankfurt are one of those teams, aren't they? They like playing the better teams, and I don't think it's impossible that they can get something out of that game, to be honest. I don't think it'll be a really one-sided game, let's say that much. But you probably imagine Real to win because it's Real, they always find a way against everyone. But I wouldn't imagine it'll be a one-sided game, that's for sure. I'll probably be looking at an early prediction before seeing the team lineups. I'd be looking at a 2-1 to Real or something like that. But looking forward to seeing Frankfurt this season as well, actually. Really looking forward to seeing them because, great season last year, but in the league, they weren't that impressive. Just RB coming forward here as well, but another dreadful pass. What are they doing at all at times with these passes? And now it's Bayern that are through. Is he onside? Jeez, they've got so much space. Oh, he's smashed it low. He almost lost his footing, Gnabry, and he's knocked it wide of the post. But geez, RB Leipzig, he looked offside though, to be honest, was he? Was he offside? I don't know. But
I think it was close. Yeah, I think it was close though. They're lucky. RB are lucky that he just tripped himself over a little bit, Gnabry there.
Yeah. It actually all started that one with a Leipzig attack as well, didn't it? Like Leipzig looked like they were through on goal, but like a poor pass from, I think, was it Limer? I don't know, but it was a poor pass which ended up going through to the.
No, I think it was Bosley who was going through. Who played the initial first poor pass. But yeah, so Bayern back on the ball. Oh, here we go. Just seeing on our screen a couple of RB substitutions to come. Yeah. Well, you can't not agree with bringing them on, can you? So hopefully one of them or both of them make a big impact on this game. As we're going along, just a reminder to everyone that we're still running our giveaway with Bundesliga boxes, who of course were in partnership this year. Details of that are on the Over the Bar Twitter account. It's the pinned tweet, so it'll be right at the top. Make sure you go over to that for a chance to win a Bundesliga box for free, batch 22. So you'll get yourself an authentic German football T-shirt from anything from Bundesliga all the way down to regional Liga, with you get a matchday program, football badge or a pin, and much more. So go to the Over the Bar Twitter account and have a look at that and get yourself in with a chance of winning our giveaway. Just as RB were building an attack, and they've just won themselves a goal kick, and the substitutions have taken place. So the long balls now hopefully will be a bit more effective, Mark, with Andre Silva to be able to hit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised they didn't make the subs at half time. Obviously, just made them about 7 minutes into the second half, which is a bit of an odd one. But yeah, I think obviously at this stage it's more just experimental, really, isn't it? Because I think the game's gone, in truth. I really don't see Bayern conceding 3 goals in the second half. But I think, yeah, obviously there's a lot of pride on the at stake, and also a lot of preparation, because ultimately this is a game that is still mostly about preparation going into the new season. And, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the game with, for me, what is more of a full-looking Leipzig side. You know, for me, Olmo and Silva have to start most of the games this season. I think obviously Olmo didn't have the best second half to last season, which could have been part of the reason why he didn't start today, but definitely a quality player who I'm looking forward to seeing more of this season. Good play again there, though, by Bayern. It's them still coming forward. And, yeah, good tackle in the end by Simakon. But, yeah, Bayern they're so fast, aren't they? You know, taking the quick throw in as well, catching Simakon almost off guard. But ball back. Good play by Simakon there to intercept. He has been the best of the Leipzig defenders today, but that's not really saying an awful lot in truth. But yeah, Leipzig doing a little bit better in the second half. No real chances conceded, apart from probably that one from Gnabry. But yeah, settling a little bit better. I think probably for this second half, they'll probably just want to try and win the half. That's what Tedesco will have told them, really. I think, if they can get a 3-1, then they'll see it as, damage limitation, really, in some ways. But if they can get a 3-2, that'll be probably they'll be quite happy with that result, I would say. Rory, what do you think what would you say Leipzig are going to try and get out of this second half then?
Well, yeah, you're drawn between the fact that you've got 30 minutes 35 minutes to go out there and try and score 3 goals and potentially take the game to penalties or extra time and try and win yourself a trophy. Obviously, versus the fact that if you go so attacking, you can get very quickly embarrassing. 4-5, 6-0. That's not what you want to kickstart your campaign. Just as RB are on the edge of the box here with Dani Olmo, but Alfonso Davies does a good job of scrambling it away. But we still have an RB attack here. Andre Silva, some good link up. He's just in the corner of the right-hand side, but I think that's gone out for a goal kick. Or have they given it as a corner? I think they might have given a corner here. So potential chance for Leipzig to load the box and maybe get an opportunity from here. Obviously, the sooner they try and get a goal or footing back into this game, the better. So let's see what happens with this one. It's Szoboszlai again, so he needs to improve his delivery. So let's see how this one goes. Whipped into a danger. He's hit the bar!
It's off the underside of the aluminium, as they say. What a header that was, actually. Unlucky, really. But better from Leipzig. The corner is cleared in the end, but that hit like the underside of the aluminium, that one did. And yeah, it was pretty unlucky but now it's Bayern on the attack, though. Oh, he's been robbed again, and Müller, kind of surprised he seemed there, but plays the ball into the middle. It's Musiala on the ball now. Oh, he's taking it. Oh, good tackle. Oh, yeah, good play from Simakon. And now the ball moves forward again, but one of those pointless long balls straight into Upamecano, and now Bayern build again through the midfield. But yeah, very unlucky. I've not seen the replay yet because there's been so much action, but that looked pretty damn unlucky, Rory.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I've not seen a replay either because it just looks like our second half is just waking up here. The two teams, great ball in there. Maybe it's a bit too far forward from a Bayern point of view. Here we go. Here's the replay.
Now, yeah.
And of course, it's
Andre Silva. The Lumi, that one, doesn't it? Yeah, that's pretty. Was it Orban? I think it was. It was Orban, the corners expert. Yeah, it was pretty unlucky, that one. It was a great header, and half of probably 10, 15 centimeters lower, and it was a goal, that one, that's for sure. But yeah, better from Leipzig, the route, direct route. It was number 19.
No, it was Silva, Mark.
Yeah, Silva, yeah. Not a surprise, really. We know he's great in the air, don't we? He's a great player in the air, that's for sure, Andre Silva.
Yeah, so very, very close. That would have been perfect timing, really. Could have set off a bit of a comeback. So that was a bit of a shame that we didn't get that goal. Hopefully, we'll get just for the sake of the game, not that I'm an RB Leipzig fan, but if we get an RB goal, we might get a bit of a crazy half an hour finish here in, well, obviously at the Red Bull Arena. But Bayern back on the ball. Although I think it's Kimmich's just been robbed there, and transfer and Kunku come forward.
It's deflected and it's wide though, yeah. Almost, you can see already that the subs have made a difference, though, Rory, can you? I mean, both players have been involved very, very early on. They've only been on for 5-6 minutes, but both players have started well in the second half. Another corner going to come in now. Can Andre Silva get on this one as well?
All right. It's I think it's Nkunku from this side. Yeah. Whipped in swinger. There we go!
It's in. It's in the back of the Lumi. It's a goal. Is it Halstenberg in the end? Yeah. It's Halstenberg. That man not had the best game, but the second corner to come in, and it's a looping header this time. Just kind of dips underneath the Lumi and into the back of the net, doesn't it? Like, what a goal that is, really. Another corner. What a ball whipped in as well. It's a fantastic corner coming in that from Nkunku. Great header as well. 3-1, game on.
Perfect, yeah, perfect timing that. Like I said, if RB can get themselves a goal, so if you're just kind of tuning in, having your dinner, or supposed to be a bit of a late dinner by now, or having a nice Saturday evening, make sure you get on and stay with us for the rest of this game, because hopefully it'll be a really enjoyable, entertaining last half an hour with RB going for it. And so if you're watching on Twitter or any other kind of device, make sure you come onto YouTube and say hello, and get involved in the chat. Let us know what you've made of the game so far and what your predictions might be for the rest of the game. Get your friends and family involved in it as well, and come say hello and enjoy the last half an hour with myself and Mark here on our first watch along of the season of obviously of our new Bundesliga season. So we've got just a bit of a scrap in the middle of the pitch, and Bayern come out of it on top. And we've just seen a substitution for Bayern as well, Mark. It looks like the man who was having a pretty darn good game has come off, actually. Musiala coming off for Kingsley Coman, so no dip in quality there at all.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, just showing the strength in depth, really, for Bayern, doesn't it? I think that's the only problem with Musiala. He struggles to do 90 minutes, and it could be the fact that he's still young. I think he's still only 20. RB Leipzig come forward again here now, though. He's just played it a little bit too far in Kunku, but it's well recovered. No, it's not. Bayern now with Hernandez play it forward, but yeah, good signs here, and it's so kind of both presses are kind of colliding into each other in that midfield at the moment, aren't they? And like Halstenberg gives a free kick away, which is probably not a bad thing really in the end, because Bayern
smart team foul that.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. But it's looking more promising, I mean, Leipzig are getting more breaks now, and Bayern, could be a little bit nervous, obviously making the substitution in retaliation. As I was saying before, I think the reason why Musiala was taken off is probably because he struggles to do 90 minutes at full fitness, doesn't he? And obviously when you've got a guy like Kingsley Coman sitting on the bench, then why not bring him on? Let's be honest. So, no shortage of quality there in the Bayern team. But, game looking more promising now, certainly from a competitive perspective. Again, the ball well won again by Leipzig there midfield. Didn't quite work out for them. Won again. This wasn't happening in the first half. They're starting to win balls now in that midfield. And, Bayern still the kind of last-ditch defending, getting it away there. But, things looking a bit more promising now, Rory, for Leipzig.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, absolutely are. Bit of a kind of reverse of the first half in terms of the kind of pattern of the pressing. Leipzig obviously are kind of making more strides forward and forcing Bayern to make these long balls forwards, and they're getting the ball back as they're just building from the back here with Simakan or Simakan. who is building it down the right-hand side, down the right wing now. Plays a ball through, which kind of was it was on, but the player down the right, it might have been Hausenberg, had stopped his run, unfortunately, and now Bayern can make roads down the right-hand side that is now vacant for RB Leipzig. Alfonso Davies, his cross, is well blocked. Comes out to Muller.
Again.
Shows good strength there, Muller, as ever, and retains the ball for Bayern inside the half of RB, and they've now got a recovery and a chance to send it forward. Oh, it was on. Silva, get your head up, son. And Kunku was through there if Silva had spotted it. And Kimmich makes a bit of a team foul there for his side and gets a booking as a result. So it's now 1-1 in terms of bookings. Kimmich, I think that was a pretty deserved yellow card because it was a dangerous situation there. And he just completely trips over Silva. And as you said, Mark, the substitutions have made a very positive impact. What if? Maybe there are what ifs about whether Olmo and Silva have maybe started this game for Leipzig. Would they have had a bit more directness, the ability to be direct and actually retain the ball? Who knows? So free kick taken by Leipzig, and they're now back on the attack. Nice touch by Olmo, and that is a pretty horrendous cross by Lima, and the attack is now over for Leipzig. So, right, 25 minutes to go, Mark. What do you reckon? Can Leipzig get another goal in the next 10-15 minutes to make it a harem-scarum finish?
Yeah, I definitely think there'll be more goals in the game. Whether they'll come for Leipzig or not, I don't know. But I definitely think there will be another goal or two in this game. I think, for me, this second half was all about just restoring my faith in Leipzig, and they have done that so far. Although, at the moment, things are not looking good. He's through on goal.
What are you doing?
What's the defence doing again there, though? And it is 4-1. Gnabry does his kind of trademark sign the contract celebration, but that was just pitiful defending from Leipzig. I mean, they got it clear. I think it all happened so fast that I could barely work out what happened there. But I mean, it shouldn't have ended up in the back of the net. Let's say that much, And it's good play initially through the midfield from Coman, actually playing the ball through to Muller, who then has the shot saved. But then what's the defender doing? Is it Klosterman? I think it's Klosterman just gets his... That's the problem with those two guys, isn't it? They just don't have the quality on the ball and they get caught, and in the end it just falls for Gnabry, who has basically an open net to smash it. Not really an open net, to be fair. It's a good finish because he smashes it high and beyond Galazzi. But yeah, that's just as I was going to say, I think there'll be more goals. But yeah, it comes for Bayern Munich and yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we think that's probably game, set, and match by the looks of it. For Bayern, they look like they're going to be SuperCup winners 2022. 5 goals in the game though for our watch-along, Mark. There's no there's no turning your head at that, is there? That's we've had a good one to watch tonight in terms of excitement. We thought after 13-15 minutes we haven't seen a shot yet. We might be in trouble here, but the game has, it's lived up to the billing of the Super Cup. It's been enjoyable watching. It's not been, not all the football's been clean or clinical, but the goals have been fairly decent. There's been good spells of football, particularly for Bayern, mixed in with some traditional Bundesliga defending. I think you can probably say that. But yeah, we've now got a scoreline of 4-1 for Bayern. And they're taking off Thomas Muller, who's done his job, and we get to see the new boy as well. Gravenberch is on number 38. So what do we think we're going to see from this young man? It'll be exciting to see him get going.
Yeah, I'm glad we've got to see him for the last 25 minutes or so of the game, because I have heard good things. As I said earlier, I don't know that much about the lad. But I mean, if he's been, one of the key players for Ajax at such a young age, and he's got to be a good player as far as I'm concerned. I think I saw a few of, I think he starred in Bayern's, Ajax's kind of destruction of Borussia Dortmund twice last season, which could have been part of the reason why Bayern decided to, sign him, basically. But things look very good for Bayern. Disappointing, really, for Leipzig, because that's probably going to take this wind out of the sails now. Although they have got the ball through the midfield, just watching it, and just overplayed it a little bit, but probably good defending, I think, by Hernandez, who's had a good game, just kind of out muscling Silva as it was going to go through to him, but. Yeah, they've given the ball away again. They've been a little bit careless at times in the second half. Bayern haven't been as good in the second half, that's for sure, which is kind of understandable from 3-0 up, though, really, isn't it? But, it's kind of, I guess, for the rest of the game, it's just about probably Bayern maybe trying to put a bit more gloss onto the scoreline, and RB just probably trying to avoid conceding any more, really, I would say now.
Yeah, absolutely. Been a couple of looser passes by Bayern in this half for sure. Here's a ball forward here. Through 1-on-1 if he's onside. Mane chipped in 5-1.
Defense again. No. He looks offside though. The flag went up, but
right, yeah. I think we've got a false alarm here. And thankfully from a RB Leipzig point of view. Let's just have a quick look. Oh my god, he might be onside here,
He's on, I think. Yeah, he looks on to me. He looks level.
Yeah, that looks to me as if we've had our 6th goal of the evening here on our watch along for the Super Cup. He looks disappointed for now, but Sadio Mane, I think in a minute might be celebrating a 2nd goal. We've still got a bit of a delay. Referee is just looking at his watch. Obviously chatting away to the people upstairs. So obviously all the players are just kind of at a standstill right now. RB Leipzig players looking rather worried, I think. It's fair to say. I can see some of the fans in the background as well looking very, very glum.
They don't look happy, the Leipzig fans, at all after what they've seen today.
No, not at all. Oh, Mane's clapping his hands and...
Oh no, he's given the offside, I think. Yeah,
it's given offside. Well, yeah, I'd love to have seen the drawn on lines like they do in the Premier League, because that must have been very close. But anyway, it remains 4-1. There's still a slither of hope for RB to try and get themselves back into this game, as they come out down the right hand side here with Klosterman. And he comes in to find Lima, and he goes back towards Simakon, and Leipzig now trying to foray their way down the left-hand side, but Bayern are still pressing and chasing very, very, very well and harrying the Leipzig midfielders and players. But here's a bit of space here for Nkunku. Can he find his man? Can he? Oh, great block.
That was unlucky, really. Great block, I think.
Yeah, that's a goal-saving block, isn't it? I think. Here's Lima.
I actually think he did really well there.
Silva.
Oh,
that was close. Could have been 4-2. Maybe should have been 4-2. It's a good curling effort. It's about a yard over, I'd say.
Good effort, but always rising, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's quite good at picking out the top corner usually. Andre Silva, and I'd be interested to see the Nkunku shot from another angle, because I'm not sure who blocked it. I think it might have been Davies, so it obviously remains 4-1. Just chances everywhere now. The game's being stretched. As Szoboszlai wore a clearance in the face there. Just not for Szoboszlai, of course, but for everyone else. But yeah, Leipzig had a good few chances, particularly in the second half. Obviously, the Silva header as well off the underside of the bar. So, yeah, in theory, they could have had 3 goals, I guess. I don't know what the hold-up is here. As we go into the 73rd minute of the game. So, obviously, about 17 odd minutes left of the Super Cup for Bayern to see out here for ourselves on the watch along this evening with myself, Rory Petrie, and indeed Mark Broadhurst for Over the Bar. Hope again everyone is doing well as tuned in. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well for loads more watch alongs and content on a weekly basis. So yeah, we're really looking forward to getting stuck into the season. Make sure you're free on Monday night as well. Me and Mark will be back with Runa of Bully News. So we'll be doing our fancy football draft. So really looking forward to that as well. They just showed the lines of the Mane offside as well on my screen, Mark, and it was actually a little bit further off than I thought. Although they measured it up to his arm, which I think is still a bit stupid. But yeah, offside it was. So yeah, still a chance for Leipzig here for free kick.
Yeah, poor header really there. Yeah, I always find it a little bit strange that really about how they measure the offsides. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I always thought that the armpit you can't use. Do you know what I mean? So why do they measure that offside? It's very, I don't know. For me, I would like to see that kind of removed and for it to be kind of moved to the chest, really, which is the kind of first point that you can really use. Do you know what I mean? But I guess it's always, that's the thing with football and using VAR. Do you know what I mean? There's always going to be some controversy because it's how do you measure where the offside starts from? Because since I've been following football, they've changed it probably 3 or 4 times, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? When I started following football, it was any form of the body that was in front was offside, but then they changed it to that daylight. They used to say there had to be daylight in between them or something, which again was also a little bit abstract. But then they moved it back to the old system, and nowadays they say it's very, very confusing, isn't it? Nowadays I think they say that any part of the body where you could score with is considered to be offside, basically. So I guess maybe they consider it to be the shoulder. Do you know what I mean? Because I think you can score with the shoulder, but it's it's very, very confusing, really, isn't it? And nowadays in football, they seem to change the rules quite often. What do you think about that, Roy? Do you think it's good that they change quite often, or would you prefer to see a more concrete rule, really, for this stuff?
There's too many grey areas in an area that should be pretty clear cut to me. They need to make the ruling on it and stick with it, because people are often second guessing it. Is often done differently in different countries, which is a complete joke for me. So the sooner they sort it out, the better. As RB come forward here again. Oh, what are they giving here? Is that a penalty?
Looks like I don't know. He's not. Nagelsmann's not happy, but it looks like it's just a free kick from what I can see. But
is it edge of the area or?
Well, it's penalty. It looks a penalty. That to me is surely in the area. It's a clumsy foul from Pava, and I think he looks in the area to me. You know, I think he originally gave a free kick, but it is a free kick. He takes his leg, you know, but it's definitely a foul. But whether it's a penalty
and it was in the area, so yeah, I think we've got a penalty. And if it's the case, do you want to talk us through?
Yeah, he's given the penalty. It's going to be that man, Chris Nkunku, who's going to take it. Yeah, I think it was the correct decision. You know, I think there's no doubt about it. Pava, you know, had a really good game, actually, but he does have that in him, doesn't he, to just go through and clumsily foul a player. And it's going to be Christopher Nkunku looking for his first goal of the season. He has already had the ball in the back of the net. Steps up now. Is he going to score? Chris Nkunku, 4-2. Great penalty right into the top corner ahead of Neuer. You know, another goal to enjoy, and it was a correct decision, the penalty as well. Absolute madness from Pavard, really, which, as I said before, he does have that kind of madness in him. It was really good penalty into the top right corner. Neuer pretty much no chance with that one. And, yeah, 4-2. So, you know, you'd probably call it still a consolation, but just as we tick past 77 minutes, you know, we can't completely call the game over, Rory, yet.
No, not at all. Absolutely. Still a game to be won or lost here. Great penalty. Just as we're saying that, there are 3 Bayern subs coming on here. We're going to see two more debuts. So De Ligt is coming on. Looks like we're going to see our first outing for Mazraoui as well as Leroy Sané. So, yeah, another very quick reaction to a goal by Julian Nagelsmann. So it'll be very interesting again to see how these extra 2 new players do in the shape of De Ligt and Mazraoui. So yeah, I mean, 6 goals again. It's not the first game of the season, but it's the curtain raiser for the Bundesliga season. I mean, it just always delivers, Mark. We have to say we get to do a show on the most entertaining league in Europe, in the world for me. Just constant fun and goals and everything else in between. And we're off to a great start to the season already. 6 goals in our first watch along the season. So I really hope everyone that's been watching has enjoyed it so far and enjoyed the goals along with us, whether you've been able to see them live or elsewhere. But yeah, so 12-ish minutes left with a bit of extra time. Can we start to talk about potential RB Leipzig quick finish here, Mark? We've seen a substitution for RB as well, although I couldn't see who it was. So they just need to get a lot more of the ball and press forward and see if they can create a couple more chances.
Yeah, definitely. I think the fact that we're not surprised that there's been 6 goals, Rory, just says everything about the Bundesliga, really, doesn't it? Because, like, in other leagues, you're saying, wow, 6 goals in the Super Cup. But in the Bundesliga, that's just normal, basically. Do you know what I mean? That we expected a goal fest, basically, and we got it. And, yeah, I think there could be another goal, at least another goal in this game, for sure, as well. And, yeah, I think RB, they will be happy with the second half performance. Disappointed to have given that goal up, the 4th one to Gnabry, but yeah, they can definitely take a lot of positives out of the second half. If they can get another goal back, then I think they would almost go home quite happy with a 4-3 in some ways. Although Bayern come here, and it's just wide by Mane, who he has been a live wire, that's for sure today. And a very, very promising signings for Bayern with the way he's played. Some great football there, and Mane just kind of knocking it wide past Peter Galazzi's post. But yeah, it's been absolutely a brilliant game, and the Bundesliga just never, ever disappoints with this kind of stuff. The game has just been fantastic to watch all the way through it. Chances galore, 2 disallowed goals, 1 for each side. Yeah, it's just been very entertaining. And now the switch ball across to Leipzig, they come in here. A nice ball over. And it's well saved in the end by Neuer. I think it was Lima who went through in the foot from Neuer. Yeah, Leipzig fancy this. They're playing really fast. And, the fans you can see the fans are getting behind them maybe for one of the first times in this game. And, Leipzig don't think this is over yet. That's for sure, Rory.
No, yeah, here we go. Corner from Nkunku, I think it's going to be whipped in. I think it might have been De Ligt's potential first touch as a Bayern Munich player, getting it out.
Well, now Bayern are away again. Mane runs through and go, and he's taking it too early though. No. And Galazzi has saved it easily. Yeah. And now RB come forward again. You wouldn't think we'd just play for 81 minutes and have 6 goals, would you? Because both teams want more, that's for sure. It's still very, very entertaining. And, it's quite a hot night as well in Germany tonight. So, yeah, players are just, they seem fit. Both sides seem fit, that's for sure. Probably helped by the fact that, obviously, in football, we have 5 substitutions nowadays. But, yeah, definitely looking good at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose with 10 minutes left, with the new season on the horizon, both managers will want all the players to get more minutes under their belt. Really, really kind of get the kind of match practice and fitness as we kind of go into the last 10 minutes here. As RB Leipzig win free kick just on halfway, and it's Henrichs who wants the ball back as soon as possible to get on with the game. Was it Mane tracking back? Obviously, a very hard-working forward, Mane. Good little ball there is Lima with the cross. Again, De Ligt with a header, I think it was. Yeah, number 4, De Ligt. So a good few early headers for him. Good ball in for Olmo and Silva in each other's way. And kind of harsh out for a penalty, but they seem to move on pretty quickly. 8 minutes to go now. So, Leipzig need a goal pretty quick fire now, as Bayern try to build out, but it's a good press there by it might have been Willie Orban, so it's now back in RB Leipzig possession, and that might have been Lima with a pretty poor pass, and it's back with Bayern.
Heinrich's trying to do the high jump or something in the Commonwealth Games.
That was a great leap. To be fair, I mean, he got a lift on the back of was it Sane? But yeah, that was quite a jump. That.
Now Bayern going away as well through Mazraoui, who tackled, and actually it's an RB throw-in. Good play there from the RB defence.
Yeah. So, I mean, from what I've seen so far, Gravenberch has played quite far forward in the midfield. Obviously, he came on for Muller, who's obviously an advanced forward or attacking midfielder. But he's not been able to get into the game as much yet. So hopefully we'll see more of Gravenberch as the season goes on. As Bayern win a free kick, a throw in on halfway. And Mane with a very nice quick turn to start a new Bayern attack. Down the right-hand side they come. Sane on the edge of the area. The cute ball through into the penalty area.
He's given handball. He seems to have given another foul here for offside again here against Mane. He doesn't look offside to me, though. Although, he is. He is offside.
Yeah. Well, we could have had so if Bayern have had 2 disallowed goals and Leipzig have had 1 chalked off, we could have had a 6-3 this evening. But obviously, all of them rightly disallowed so far. They've got them spot on so far for offsides. 4-2 it remains. And Leipzig have one possession. Olmo does well there. Yeah, good play from Nkunku. Lima on the edge of the Bayern area. And it's they've lost possession. I think it's the substitute. Is it Nova? I think he's a Spanish youngster. I could well be corrected on that. I'm not that familiar with the player. But Bayern have one possession back, and it's a goal kick. So 85 minutes gone in the German SuperCup, the curtain raiser ahead of the start of the season next Friday, where Frankfurt entertain Bayern Munich. So that'll be a really good game to get us going on Friday night. I'll try and watch it, although I am away myself. Here's RB starting another attack, Mark, and at least they're giving it a good go now. Technically speaking, they're winning the second half 2-1. Good.
That one looked like he got through. Oh, he's won the ball back again, though. RB really starting to win the press at the moment. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, it's well blocked. Really well blocked there, though. Don't foul him here. Yeah, it's and RB. I think they fancy another goal. They probably know that they're not going to get back level now with only less than 5 minutes of added on with normal time. But if they can get back to 4-3, they can be really happy with the performance in the second half. Well, they can be anyway, really, in the second half, because as things stand, they have won the second half. Obviously, it was 3-0 at half time.
Yeah, that's something you mentioned earlier on, wasn't it? Just about winning the second half and a bit of momentum and stuff for them going forward. I mean, I hope they don't get momentum because they're playing my boys' first game of the season. So that'll be a nice tricky one for the VFB boys. I hope RB don't come into that too hot and bothered, because otherwise they're going to take out their frustrations on Stuttgart. But yeah, we'll see about that come next weekend. So we're into the 87th minute now. Leipzig just building again down the left-hand side. Good turn by Silva. But Bayern getting numbers back, and they defended that one well, although Sane's lost it straight away. And now they can come down the right-hand side. And that's a bit of a hopeful ball, and Olmo's done very well. And Nkunku now on the ball. Lima, and It's good work by Kingsley Coman this time. And yeah, Bayern just doing what they need to do right now, aren't they, Mark? Just getting those clearances, getting first to it, and they can counter on, whenever they please, I guess.
Yeah, it's mostly been last-ditch defending, I would say, from Bayern the last 10 minutes since they got, obviously, the goal back. But yeah, it's actually my stream has actually gone off, so I'm going to have to pass over to Rory. I think there's a problem with the German stream, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to pass back over to Rory for the moment.
Sure. Well, here's Kingsley Coman in the box for Bayern, Kimmich on the edge of the area, and straight at Gulacsi. So we're into the 88th minute now. So yeah, very, very much last knockings. Although Lime has done well here to find Silva, who's turned inside of De Ligt, finds Szoboszlai edge of the area, overlapping run into the area now. 4-3. Goal! Oh. Danny Olmo sneaks it past Manuel Neuer in the net at the near post. And so that's so we're still only in the 88th minute, trickling into the 89th minute. We're going to have a decent spell of additional time here. Again, ahead of myself, extra time. Great play by Lima to set up the attack. Silva does well to cut inside of De Ligt. Szoboszlai on the edge of the area, plays in Olmo. And then he just gets this, he cuts inside of De Ligt, actually, through his legs and beats Neuer at his near post. 4-3, game on again. Get your friends on this game. Get yourselves onto YouTube. Join in the chat because we've got a hell of a finish here. Hopefully we'll have a good chunk of added on time. 7-goal thriller for the first game of the season. Absolutely thrilled that we've been able to bring this to you guys. So yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff. Are you back up and running yet, Mark?
No, for some reason there's a problem with the damn stream. Yeah, which is a bit frustrating, but yeah, great to see that it's back to 4-3 now. And I think obviously, yeah, it's going to be a really, really big last few minutes of the game, that's for sure. And I think even if Leipzig lose 4-3, they can take a lot out of this fixture, I would say, because
sure.
But I'm going to pass back over to you, Rory, until mine comes over.
Yeah, no problem. So we've got 4 minutes of added on time. So we're only just into that. So I'll try and talk you all through it. The last knock-ins of this game. First watch along for us this season. We've had great fun with it. Szoboszlai coming off here for RB Leipzig. Not too sure who they brought on. Is that Haidara? Yeah, it's Haidara. Interesting substitution. Might give them a bit more energy in the midfield. So just down the right-hand side, good play by the youngster there. And it's Silva, great turn. Can he get a crossing down the right-hand side? He does. Falls to Olmo inside the box. Oh, it goes across goal. Why is there no one there? Could have been a tap-in for anyone arriving for RB Leipzig, and they've just about got the ball back. So with 1 minute gone in extra time, and Leipzig trying to build again here. Almost had a huge impact on this game. Now, can they switch it to the right again? They can. Can he control it? He can. Good block there by Alfonso Davies, and Sadio Mane just about gets away from his man, and Kingsley Coman was pretty much in on goal there, and he's been dragged back. And it's a yellow card for Klosterman. So we're almost into the 92nd minute here. So still 2 minutes. Can Leipzig sneak themselves back into this game? That, just looking at that cross again, it was actually Halstenberg who whipped it in out at the back stick. Low and hard with a bit of a bounce, beat Neuer, and there was no one there. No one there for the tap-in. Huge chance.
Gutter, that's for sure.
Yeah, Bayern just going offside there. So 2 minutes left. Free kick for Leipzig in their own half. So obviously they'll hopefully be pumping this one long. I would have thought if they had any subs left, they might have thrown on thrown on Poulsen. I'm not sure if he's actually on the bench, to be fair, though. I'd have to check that. So
No, I don't see him on the bench, actually, no. Also,
right.
Sorloth is the other one as well. Sorloth is actually
Of
really...
course.
Yeah, and we've also not seen Schlager at all as well, which is a little bit surprising. But yeah, I mean, can't really fault the visitors in the home side in the second half, can you? I think they've been really, really good. You know, for all that we criticised them in the first half, you know, they've really worked on a lot of that in the second half. And although they probably are going to lose the game, aren't they, Rory? But, you know, it's been a very, very valiant effort, I would say, in the second half, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been very, very impressive from Leipzig. The changes have made a huge difference. We are on... we're not playing currently, so just as we're chatting, don't worry, not missing anything. Alfonso Davies is down. I don't know if it's cramp. Nagelsmann looks a bit upset. Davies looks a bit upset, so maybe it's not cramp. But yeah, Leipzig have been fantastic. Like you said, Mark, they're playing a lot quicker, and their passing interchanges a lot more sharp. Clinical finishing. Made the most of their chances. Obviously, had the effort off the bar. Maybe if they could have just got on the end of a couple more chances, then they could have been level in this game. Because Bayern, other than being a threat on the counter, and Mane obviously being a danger there, they've I think very fair to say that they've been outplayed in this half. We're still still trying to assess how we're restarting the game here. So the clock has ticked over into 44 minutes and a half here. 94 minutes and a half of the game gone. And now there's an argument of whose ball it is. Hernandez not very happy about Leipzig being given the throw-in, I think. So yeah, we're kind of just dilly-dallying around here in the dying embers of this Super Cup game. But it looks like I think
I've got him back on it. It looks as though he's going to swing the ball in here. I don't quite know what's going on there, but it looks like Nkunku's going to swing it in for one last chance, basically, I would imagine.
Right then, talk us through it then, Mark.
Swings it in, but it's headed out by the defender, but back in by Nkunku, and still in with a Leipzig. Oh, he's giving it offside, though. I think that should probably be it. It looked as though Leipzig were going to get one more chance of a fall, but it seems as though Lima has been flagged offside there, and I would imagine it'll probably be full time now, unfortunately. Yeah, we could have watched another 20 minutes of this one quite easily, couldn't we, Rory?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I must admit, after the first 15 minutes were a bit slow and a bit turgid. I was starting to get slightly concerned, but obviously it was early doors, and we've had a thriller. We've had a brilliant game of football as always. Leipzig right now. Yeah, they're at the wrong end of the pitch as well. 96 minutes are on the clock. Silva manages to get himself a bit of a flick on, but
maybe a chance for one more Bayern goal here. Sane runs through. Oh, it's on the. Oh, it's a poor pass by Sane as well. Yeah. Not probably again. He's not done that well since he came off. The ref's still playing on, and Olmo now has the ball, but it's well tackled. But then it's a foul there. But I'm surely the full-time whistle's going to go soon. Maybe one more chance to get the ball long, and he goes long. But what's he doing there? Yes, I hate it when they try to go early and nobody's prepared. It's so stupid that really, because half the time, even if it comes off, the ball gets dragged back anyway for playing it too fast. Never understand that. But it's full time. The whistle. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not. Neuer. Is it Neuer that's gone in the book or what? There.
Yeah. Neuer keeping the ball away from Nkunku. He is going to let Leipzig restart the game with obviously surely the last
almost
going to
knock it long now. Almost going to knock it long. 97.5 minutes almost on the clock. This is the last chance. Oh, the ball does fall. Oh, it's away. Surely now it's going to be. Oh, Sané's running away. Could it be an 8th goal here? Sané's 1-on-1. He's not really played it well, but he has got a chance. It's a goal. It's 8 goals. 5-3 to Bayern Munich. What a game. There had to be another goal, and it was always going to happen. But yeah, there you go. It's not a 7-goal thriller. We've got an 8-goal thriller. Looked as though Sané was going to mess that up, but in the end, he did pretty well because he had the keeper and a defender to deal with. But there has been an 8th goal in the fixture, and it's Leroy Sané with a runaway goal. Was it Davies? I think it was Alfonso Davies who got a really good clearance, and actually that'll go down as an assist as well. Actually played it really well, Sané, didn't he, Rory, in the end?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I thought he had kind of he'd been caught up, but he did really well. Cut back a couple of times, a couple of nice Cruyff turns, and yeah, that is the final whistle of the Super Cup between Bayern Munich and RB Leipzig. It finishes 5-3 to the visitors. Bayern Munich are the Super Cup champions of Germany for 2022. Yeah, absolute feast of football of 90 minutes, 97 minutes plus. Bayern are good for their win. I think it's fair to say. I think they did the job in the first half, didn't they? So yeah, and the second half was crazy. Leipzig went for it. They did really well to come back into the game. Substitutes made the difference. Olmo, Silva, really, really good. And Kunku was on, the periphery of the game, but still wasn't bad. But yeah, if that's just, a mere taste of what we've got in store for us this season, then, I won't have any problem with this season. Yeah, what were your final thoughts on the game, Mark?
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Yeah, great game. But as I said before, this isn't a surprise necessarily. I mean, okay, maybe we don't get 8-goal thrillers every single time the top teams meet, but we can often see 6-7 goals in these games. It's and it was very entertaining. Remember, on top of that, we had 3 disallowed goals as well, which I think a couple of them were very, very borderline onside as well. I think all 3 of them were correct in the end, but they weren't that far up. We could have even seen another goal or 2 on there as well. It was just fantastic. Obviously these kind of games, there's not that much pressure, because obviously teams, it's not the be all and end all of the season if you lose the Super Cup or win it, but, I think both teams have relaxed, especially Leipzig in the second half. They've really done themselves proud. I said at halftime that they need to try and win the second half, and they've still managed to do that 3-2 in the end. And yeah, I think the second half was more entertaining for me because it was a proper contest. I think the first half Bayern were absolutely majestic. Second half, they weren't so good after the substitutes, to be honest, but they've still got the job done. It's still they've scored 5 goals against the most likely title rivals. And I definitely think there's positives that both sides can take out of this Super Cup. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just a couple of quick heads up for the rest of the week and going forward. So firstly, we are doing a giveaway, as we mentioned, so make sure you get yourself on that. It's on our Over the Bar Twitter page. It's the pinned tweet. Go onto it and make sure you enter. All you have to do is retweet the tweet, follow Over the Bar and Bundesliga Boxes, which is obviously who we are doing the giveaway with. And then simply just show us a screenshot of yourself subscribing to the channel. Please make sure you have done already. If you're new to the channel or returning, thanks very much for watching this evening. We're back on Monday, so a 3rd show in 6 days for me and Mark at the start of the season. It's our fantasy draft show, so I'll be doing that with Runa. So if you like your fantasy football, make sure you tune in. We'll be doing one live using the fantasy football website, so make sure you tune in for that. So that's it. Over to you, Mark, to close up tonight's watch along and what has been a very enjoyable evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for enjoying us for this classic, really. Yeah, and obviously, if you enjoyed what you saw, then remember to check out our Out Over the Bar FB and Out Over the Bar Extra Also, remember to check out our main page, otbfootball.net, which, as I said the other week, has been kind of revamped a little bit. So remember to check that out. And yeah, also remember to like, comment, and subscribe, which helps our algorithm and helps us to kind of get more and more subs, which we are continuing to go in the right direction for that as well. As I say, we've got plenty more stuff coming up the next few weeks. As Rory said, Monday's the next show where we'll be joined by Runa to talk about fantasy football. We've also got the Super Cup coming up, which I think is in about 10 days' time, roughly. I think it's not next week, the week after, and on the Tuesday or the Wednesday, but look out for that. We'll be doing that as well. And yeah, we've got more league watch-alongs as well for you guys to enjoy over the coming months. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining us again. It's been another great night. And yeah, see you again next time. Bye-bye.